In a quiet hospital in San Francisco, a newborn baby opened his eyes for the first time, unaware that he had already been given away by the parents who brought him into the world. That baby would one day change the future of technology, communication, design, entertainment, and the way billions of people live their daily lives. But before he became a legend, he lived a life full of rejection, confusion, pain, failure, and a comeback so powerful that it rewrote history itself. This is the true story of Steve Jobs. He wasn't born into privilege. He wasn't born into wealth. He wasn't even raised by his biological parents. He grew up in a modest household with adoptive parents who loved him more than anything. But even as a child, he was restless, always curious, always taking things apart, always searching for something he couldn't quite explain. In school, he didn't fit in. Teachers saw him as distracted and difficult. He questioned everything. He challenged rules, and no one really understood him. But behind that quiet, rebellious face was a mind that refused to accept the world the way it was. As he grew older, he felt lost, like he didn't belong anywhere. He entered Reed College and dropped out after only 6 months. But he didn't leave. He slept on floors, returned Coke bottles for money, and walked miles to a temple every Sunday just to get one free meal. And yet, he sat in on classes he wasn't enrolled in, especially calligraphy, a subject he loved for no logical reason. That single choice would later define the beauty of the first Macintosh computer. Life had a strange way of connecting the dots for him. A few years later, in a small garage with his friend Steve Wozniak, he started building computers by hand. No office, no money, no grand plan, just a crazy dream to make something different. And that small garage became the birthplace of Apple. Within a few years, Apple exploded into one of the fastest-growing companies in America. Steve Jobs became a young superstar, confident, bold, unpredictable, a visionary with ideas far ahead of his time. But success comes with storms. His personality clashed with the company he built. Management didn't trust him. The board didn't understand him. And one day, in a move that shocked Silicon Valley, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple. Fired from the company he created. He walked out of the building with nothing. No title. No power. No place to go. The world laughed. You peaked too early. You're finished. You'll never rise again. But they didn't know Steve Jobs. Being thrown out of Apple didn't break him. It freed him. He started a new company next. He bought a tiny animation studio, Pixar. A studio no one believed in, a studio close to dying. But with Jobs behind it, Pixar created the world's first fully animated film, Toy Story, and it changed animation forever. Meanwhile, Apple was collapsing. Products were failing. The company was losing millions. It was on the brink of death, and in desperation, the board did the unthinkable. They called the man they once threw away. Steve Jobs returned, quiet, older, wiser, sharper. He cut unnecessary products, simplified everything, rebuilt teams, redesigned the heart of Apple. Then came the revolution, the iMac, the iPod, iTunes, and finally the iPhone. A device that did not just change the phone industry, it changed human behavior, communication, culture, everything. But while the world celebrated his genius, he fought a silent, painful battle, cancer, and it was winning. Even as his body weakened, his mind kept working, designing, planning, imagining what the world could become next. He once said, "Remembering that you are going to die is the best way I know to avoid the trap of thinking you have something to lose." In 2011, the world lost Steve Jobs, but his legacy didn't end. Every time someone picks up an iPhone, every time someone is inspired to create something new, every time a dreamer refuses to give up, a piece of Steve Jobs lives on. He taught the world one unforgettable lesson. Your beginnings do not define you. Your failures do not end you. Your struggles do not break you. Only one thing decides your destiny: your willingness to keep going when everyone else stops. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.